G'day everybody, welcome to episode 3, part 1 of nontoxicbro. This episode we'll have a look at what is burnout, and then part 2 we'll discuss, I guess, what I've experienced and how I reacted and, the position I'm in now. So firstly, thanks to everyone who has liked, subscribed, shared, had a read, reached out, and in whatever capacity you have. Really appreciate that. I've put together a fairly bit more of a presentation. Normally I was, as I said, was just going to make a few notes and just talk to them as naturally as I can. Because I've done a bit of research around burnout, I will refer to some of my notes, so just bear with me if I'm looking away. So burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion due to, I guess, prolonged periods of stress. And it is when you are that stressed that you don't actually have the capacity to recover from that level of stress. There's 3 main ways that it shows up. There's the emotional exhaustion side of it, feeling drained, overwhelmed, and unable to cope with whatever you're dealing with in your day-to-day. Depersonalization or cynicism is the second way it shows up, where you become detached from work or the people around you, and become very negative or indifferent to whatever situation you find yourself in, work-wise or personally. Reduced sense of accomplishment, so feeling unproductive, ineffective, nothing you do or any effort you put in shows any results or makes any difference. So as I said before, these emotions or feelings come up when you're in that stress for such a period of time that there's no way of actually coping or dealing with that level of stress. It affects your sleep, motivation, mood, physical health as well. So it can have a fair impact on yourself, your body. So we've always, everyone's probably said, I feel so burnt out, I need a holiday. This is probably, everyone's probably said that in their work life or personal life. Unfortunately, burnout's becoming more of an issue prevalent in the corporate world. So the next section just looks at, why is it increasing? The rise of remote work, smartphones, where people are always engaged and available, certainly leads to increasing instances of burnouts. Since 2021, so post the COVID pandemic kicking off, I know Microsoft Teams. So users of Microsoft Teams saw a 252% increase in weekly meeting times compared with pre-pandemic levels. So is that a case of, we have to meet more because of the pandemic, or we're just having to work that much harder? Balance is a big challenge. Certainly was a challenge for me, and I know a lot of other people battle around with that, trying to fit everything in your day, from work, yourself, exercise, family, whatever it might be. 44% of workers worldwide reported experiencing a lot of in their day-to-day sort of work or everyday life, and that's certainly been the highest it has been in decades, so fairly concerning there. Job insecurity and economic pressure, inflation, cost of living, certainly becoming a fact of life. Hopefully in Australia, interest rates will continue to go down to ease a bit of that burden. And even the World Health has gone so far as to consider, burnout as an occupational phenomenon that they're obviously taking a keen in what's happening. Workplace culture and expectations, the hustle culture, and I think we've all worked in places where you've got to hustle, you've got to be busy, pressure on yourself, pressure on others to succeed or achieve what you've set. Definitely an issue with the younger generations that are coming through the workforce. Over 2/3 of professionals, Sir Deloitte, so they're experiencing some level of burnout in their current job, and 90% of those that was saying that unmanageable stress is having a direct impact on their work, their output, which is pretty concerning. Mental health stigma, still mental health's getting spoken about, but still plenty more we can do, which is part of why I'm doing this video blog. 75% of people surveyed, I'm pretty sure that's Indeed survey, said that burnout was affecting employees' mental health, and only about 3/4 there was, I guess, adequate support that they could actually reach out to and get help. So still plenty to be done there. So definitely an increasing phenomenon. My counsellor I've been seeing as part of all this, so the biggest reason for that is a toxic culture of always being available. The right to switch off legislation, whether that's in or out or whatever Elbow and Timu Trump are trying to decide on what to do there. That'll be a great step where employees can actually turn off at the end of the day and get some rest. Other ways we can look after ourselves is, as I said, set clear boundaries with regards to logging off, from work, geographical boundaries as well. I know working from home, everybody had to do it for a while, and that was always a challenge where you sit at your dining room table working, then you got to sit at your dining room table with your family, and trying to switch between those two modes. So having work removed, whether it's a office in the house or the physical premises that your office operates from, keeping a separation there will certainly help with managing any burnout symptoms. There's rest and recovery, so the 8-hour sleep rule certainly is very true, and also rests during. Get away from your desk, go for a walk. Don't sit there for 2 hours just trying to plug away and catch up, because it becomes very ineffective. I got given a Whoop device as my mental health assistance, so that's been really interesting to have a look at, the level of stress during the day and what sort of recovery time you do need from stressful situations. Focus on your mental well-being, mindfulness, and other amazing apps like Headspace or Calm should be used during the day. I'm trying to get better at doing mindfulness training. It has to be part of a habit of your day-to-day for it to really be effective. Journal walks and unplugged time. I'll be talking certainly about journaling and the positive effects of grounding in future episodes. Redesign your workload. So that's an interesting one. Obviously, you've got to work with the business that you're working for, and that's also prioritizing tasks and delegating. So what's urgent now, like today, versus what can potentially be delayed, and then delegation. I know a lot of people who step into especially management type roles, the biggest challenge is delegating. Probably a lot of us in our work days do tasks which are probably better served by somebody else, so we can focus on the things that we really need to. And then build a support system. So connect with people around you who get it. They're aware of their mental health and struggles they may have shared, and they'll be happy to talk to you. That's not just as work, but that's outside of work as well. Any peers, mentors that in the industry that you work in, if you can chat with them, amazing. Share how you feel. I know it's a bit daunting, but there's something I'm doing and I'm getting a lot out of it. So the last one is actually advocate for change at work. By communicating this up the line, it's getting your managers, your business owners to actually have a look at this and prioritize mental health, especially if you are in a high pressure office environment. That's or any, that doesn't have to be office environment, any environment where this is becoming an issue. A few other things. Something I've started doing is the Pomodoro technique, where you can work out the natural rhythm of how you work. You can download an extension onto Google, and basically it's a timer. It'll time you for 25 minutes. Then it will set an alarm. You then take a 5-minute break. Then you reset your timer, and you can find your rhythm doing, 25-minute minute stints. The other one is work journaling. So work out during the days when you have the most energy, when you can tackle those hard tasks, versus the times when you're just knackered and you're just going to be wasting your time trying to tackle a hard project or whatever it might be. Not saying go off for a coffee, but tackle those less lower priority type tasks. So look, that's a very cool. I'll next part 2 I'll talk about sort of my experiences and what I went through to reach burnout. But hopefully that gives you a bit of background on what it is. It's a physical issue. It's a mental issue. It literally is getting to a stage where you're that stressed and you're that tired and exhausted that there's no capacity for you to actually, get yourself out of that situation. Certainly where I got myself, a situation I got myself, and as part of this, trying to get myself out of. Hope that cleared up a bit more around burnout. I know that was I felt like I talked pretty fast for the last 11 minutes, so hopefully got something out of that. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, everything else that you need to do. But till part 2, thank you very much, and I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.